The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 77. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of courageous women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Want to learn how you can change your inner beliefs and attitudes? Download a free copy of the ebook by visiting thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today's guest, I have a special lady on. She has a phenomenal podcast. It's called Kate's Take. She also helps entrepreneurs create freedom in their business. And, without further ado, I want you to introduce you to Kate Erickson. Kate, how are you doing today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourselves to the listeners.
Yeah, I'm doing great, Sheena. Thank you so much for having me on. I've been following your podcast since the beginning, so thanks for what you're doing. I love it. Just to fill in a couple of the gaps, I've been an entrepreneur for going on about 3 years now, and I'm really passionate about helping others discover whether or not entrepreneurship is for them. Myself and my partner, John Lee Dumas, we are partners in business and in life, so we have great fun working on our business together, Entrepreneur on Fire, and just really excited to, share what I've learned over the past 3 years with others, and self-confidence and that whole mindset game, has been a huge shift for me over the past few years. I definitely have a large corporate background. So diving into entrepreneurship was definitely a scary leap for me.
Thanks for sharing that. I think entrepreneurship is a scary leap for anybody, right? Because it's just leaping into the unknown. But sometimes that risk is worth it when you see the results.
Absolutely.
Okay, what is your cultural background?
My cultural background. Well, my grandparents were first generation to America from Norway. And yeah, my parents are both from Minnesota. Both of their parents came from Norway. I have a little bit of background in Sweden as well. Not quite 50-50, so a little bit more towards the Norwegian side.
Thanks for sharing that. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
My favorite self-confidence quote. A quote that I really, really love is that from our vulnerabilities will come our strengths. And I consider it a self-confidence quote because I actually live that myself. I mean, we have so many vulnerabilities just as human beings. And I've definitely found over the past several years that when we share our vulnerabilities, we end up finding some of the things that we're best at and how we can be strongest.
I love that. And, a lot of people think being vulnerable is a bad thing, but really it can be a good thing because it shows other people that, you are human, you go through these things and you can overcome them at the same time. So, I always believe being vulnerable can be a good thing. And, well, in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
I would define self-confidence in showing up every day, playing big instead of playing small, and, being comfortable in your own skin, being confident that you don't have to second guess the decisions that you're making or the moves that you're making. That would be self-confidence to me.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, I think as women, too, we're always second guessing if the things that we're doing are right. But I think if we just follow our heart and intuition, I know it leads us to the right path. And, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
Well, looking back on it, it makes me sad that I feel like I missed out on a lot of opportunities and experiences because of my lack of self-confidence. No regrets. I live in the now and, I look forward, but I definitely feel like I have a ton of lessons learned from my past in, years that I spent always second guessing myself, always doubting my decisions. And yeah, I think that I could have, probably experienced a lot more in life up to now. I'm glad that I've had the discovery because now I can rest assured that I won't miss out on those opportunities or experiences anymore. But yeah, I think that I could definitely say that I probably missed out on a lot due to my lack of self-confidence in the past.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think too, I think a lot of people regret some of the things they do, right? And, it's great that you're able to find out that, you were capable of doing all these things. And, what was that aha moment when you realized, you don't have to always second guess yourself, your decisions can lead you to the right path?
I think I had a major mindset shift moment when I was working in corporate America and I was up for a promotion. And I was really excited about it. I had been in the same position at my job for about 3.5 years. It was a very low level position. So I was anxious to kind of start moving up the corporate ladder. And I was up for a promotion. It was going to be a very good promotion for me. And then they gave it to somebody else outside of the company. It was a huge blow to my confidence in some ways because I couldn't understand really why that had happened. But once I took a step back and really gave myself the opportunity to see it for what it was, it kind of made me realize that, that was a time for me to start making my own decisions. That was a time for me to step up and go out and take what it was that I really wanted in my life, to go out and start creating what I wanted to see in my life instead of waiting for somebody else to give it to me. Because after that moment, I kind of realized that I had kind of been sitting back thinking that people owed me something. And when I realized that, when I lost that promotion, it really gave me, a kick in the rear to say, if you want something, if you want to see something in your life, then you need to go out and create it. And that was really the moment that changed it for me. And, I realized that I could do this. I just needed to go out there and start doing it.
That's a great story. And, sometimes we encounter these these moments, you losing that promotion. And some people may see it as a bad thing, and others, they see it as a sign to move on into something greater. And, not a lot of people pick that up, right? So it's great that you were able to pick that up and say, it's not for me anymore. It's time for me to do my own thing, create my own products, or, use my creativity to contribute to the world. And, because of that, what's your life like now?
Oh my gosh, my life is completely different. I can definitely say that. I wake up every day now excited about what's ahead. I wake up, anxious to get out of bed and, start communicating with people and start creating and just being a part of the entrepreneurial world is so different because owning your own business, creating your own content, connecting with people online and in person. We're very lucky to have a strong community here in San Diego of entrepreneurs where we're at. And my life today is, I guess I could just say, if I were to use one word, it's just filled with excitement. Versus before, I'd wake up and I'd dread getting out of bed. I would dread going to work. I was the opposite of excited about what my day held. And so I couldn't be more grateful for the feeling that I get to feel when I wake up every morning, being excited about what's ahead of me.
Thank you for sharing that. And Kate, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she's also on her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
We only live one life, and we get to choose how we live that life. I wish that I would have recognized that sooner. I'm really glad that I did recognize it when I did. But, it's up to us. Nobody else is going to hand us confidence. We need to find it within ourselves, and we need to start, appreciating the opportunity we have to, be who we are and just own it.
I like that. Just own it. And, it's true. Once we own it, we claim it, and we just go after it. That's when the magic happens. So thanks for sharing that great tip. And Kate, if our listeners want to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, is there any websites or any social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, absolutely. You can check out everything we have going on over at EOFire.com.
Thanks for sharing that. And to the listeners out there, if you want to connect with Kate, just head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Kate's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I really just want to thank Kate for taking the time to share her story with us. So Kate, thank you so much.
Sheena, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me on.
No problem. It was my pleasure. And to the listeners out there, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit thetaoofselfconfidence.com for links to everything we chatted about today, as well as killer resources, gifts, and so much more. Subscribe to The Tao of Self-Confidence on iTunes or Stitcher to hear more stories of amazing women finding their inner journey to self-confidence.